Hi, I'm Leslie Ezelle of Leslie Ezelle Designs, and I'm also the homeowner of 10910 Candlelight Lane, which is where we are now. And I'm here with my fabulous realtor, Marti Voorheis, and she has come up with an idea that we are going to have for kind of an open house, I guess you would call it, right? How did you come up with this idea that we're going to be doing on Wednesday?
Well, I think every property sort of has its own story, and in keeping in line with the story of this house, I wanted to get, and during this pandemic, trying to think of something that's not a huge crowd, but that we can share with people to honor the property and bring in some of the vendors you've used because you had such a hand in everything. I love so many different elements about this house. So this is more like an agent event with vendors. We're going to bring them in and let them talk to you about why you guys worked together and chose special things about the house in terms of lighting, landscaping, furniture, things like that. So tell us some of the vendors that we've selected to be at the event.
First of all, thank you so much for the compliments. Yes, I worked very closely with some of my favorite vendors in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. One of the ones that I worked very closely with was Vico Stone. I use Vico Stone. It's a quartz company, so it's a man-made product. It's a fantastic product. It's my go-to now. I used to use granite and you know, other types of material, and it just doesn't hold up to the quartz. So Vico Stone has fantastic color palettes. So we're gonna have them come in and show us some of the different things that are trending, some of the more popular.
Love that.
Yeah, some of the things that we're starting to see things transition away from gray and more into the warmer color palette. So we're gonna get to see that. And then I'm also having Cantoni Trade, who took a very big part of my house. They are going to come in and actually show how you can transform an outdoor space because with the pandemic.
I love that. I love that because we're all looking at different ways we can use flexible rooms, and outdoor space is becoming more and more popular. So I think the time-lapse video that we've talked about doing is going to be a hit to show just the blank space and how they're going to come. They have fabulous line.
I know. It's Cantoni Trade, which is actually different from Cantoni, and that they are bringing in some amazing pieces.
Amazing.
And like you said, we're going to capture all that on the time lapse so you can actually see the pieces coming in and being staged. So I'm super excited about that. I hope I don't end up buying everything after it's all over with. We'll see about that. And then also my lighting. I love Lights Fantastic as my go-to place. I call it the jewelry. You've actually coined that phrase, I think, when you came in and said it's like the jewelry of the house. So,
and it makes it kind of warm and glamorous and yet still modern. I love the gold in here.
I wanted the home to be warm and inviting. It's obviously a very contemporary home, so it being very warm and inviting was important to us. We have a lot of kids. 6 kids to be exact, and so it's, we want it to feel like home to the children. So that helped to soften everything up was the lighting choices, and then our landscaping. My God, the landscaping part of it was huge because we had 2 big, gigantic, awful magnolia trees that I love magnolias, but just somewhere else, not in my front yard because they just make a mess. The grass was like there was no grass around it, and we took all that out with outdoor aesthetics. So she's going to be here talking about how she came up with her idea. And then Jarrell Company is where I get my appliances from. So he will be here and he'll be discussing how we decided on the decor range that I have and some of the other things that we put into the kitchen.
I'm super excited, and a few other things that we aren't going to talk about, but I love how your house is a little bit different than a lot of modern homes. I think the lighting is perfect. You have great accent lighting, like on the staircase and under the floating cabinets. And so it creates a ton of storage, the floating cabinets. You have way more storage than a lot of modern homes because the clean lines don't lend themselves to storage. Your coat closet is the size of a master bathroom.
It's crazy big. There's a lot of people in this family, so there's a lot of coats.
A lot of coats.
Yeah.
A lot of coats.
So it just fills up the entire room. It's crazy how many coats we have.
Well,
you would think we lived up north, but yeah.
So was that you designing all the storage?
Oh yeah. We came from a house that was built in the 50s, so we know what the storage looks like in the 50s. Apparently, they just didn't wear a lot of clothes back then.
No.
And they weren't big into jackets. No. So when I built this one, I was like, okay, we have to have enough room to house our not only our coats, but our Christmas decorations, our Halloween decorations. We had to have a special room for gift wrapping, things that we use on a day-to-day, not day-to-day with the ornaments, but with, wrapping presents for parties and stuff that we're always going to. And we
20
needed to
years
have that
of birthday
room.
Parties.
Yep, exactly. Oh my gosh.
And you have an amazing pantry.
Yes, and I needed a big pantry with lots of shelves, and so we have managed to fill the space up, but there is a ton of storage, which I was really felt strongly about. So.
And then this staircase is like a piece of artwork.
I wanted it to be that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The fact that it's here on the front with all this light, and yet privacy in the family room on the other side of this art wall is just brilliant.
So one of the things that we also wanted was room for artwork. I'm a painter as well, and I have a lot of pieces that
because we sold one of your paintings.
We did sell
right off the bat.
That's right, we did. So I wanted to have some room to display some of the artwork that I had, and also artwork I've collected from other folks. And so we wanted a lot of wall space. So that's why we created this wall, and also for privacy. But I wanted the staircase to be kind of a feature. And at nighttime, it just kind of glows. So yeah, I'm pleased with it. It's one of my favorite elements of the house, actually.
Me too.
Besides my storage.
Well, thank you. I'm excited about this event. And
I'm so glad you thought of it.
Me too.
It's a fantastic idea.
Me too. Well,
Should
it'll
be
be a great time.
I think so. Thanks so much.
Thank you.